This is a midweek pick-me-up. Ha 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 ha. But shalom, shalom. What I was just thinking about was the continuation of how the sun is just shining brightly. And it's so beautiful out today. And it's so shiny and puffy white clouds. And this is how it is. So even in the example of the storm, and Messiah was sleeping on a boat in a storm, or even in the example of the storm, and Messiah came from off of the water. Even if, like, imagine if there was storm clouds moving right now, and the storm clouds look dark, but still beyond that, and in the eye of the storm, and in the center of it is light, is the peace, is the rest, is the light of light. Like, all is still well. Even amongst the things going on the outside, even amongst the things in the hidden parts, even amongst the things in the moving in the darkness, you know what I mean, or under the surface, or at the roots, or in the soil. Even though there's workings happening in the soil, there's the bugs, there's the nutrients, there's all the things that enrich in the soil happening. On the top, it is blooming and blossoming, but more so on the inner parts, it is full of life. And we must not forget that. We're not going to forget that. And it's the same thing when Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and Daniel were sent they were sent to the fiery furnace. But it's also the same thing when they were tested to eat the king's food, and they were like, we're not going to eat the king's food. These are unclean things that we should not eat, and we are not going to bow down and serve your king, the kings of the world, over the sovereign Elohim. We're going to not eat your food. We're not going to partake in your stuff. And even though there are 4 of us against the whole kingdom, guess what? The 4 of us are standing with Elohim. And even in the instance where it was the 3 of them against the whole kingdom and not bowing down and worshiping idols, the 3 of us are standing against the whole kingdom with Elohim. And guess who was there? Messiah was in the midst of the fire. Messiah was on the boat. Messiah was on the water. Messiah was with the 4 of them. And even when the Maccabees, he was like, I'll be with my people even if you go up against a whole nation. I'll go against Rome. Okay, guess what? And we still going to stand together with Elohim against this whole nation. And every single example, even when it was Abraham and Yitzhak and the adversary tried to come as a river, we're still going to stand against you, adversary, and your illusions and your lies and your falsities, and keep following Elohim. Even when it was Joseph in prison for 12 years and then plus years, and under from not only under Potiphar but under Pharaoh and under these the different transitions he went with, he was like, and I'm still going to stand with Elohim. I'm still not going to partake in the things that this nation and these strangers does. And I had a dream earlier, and it was like strangers. There were 2 people that I knew in a dream. 2 people. Well, like 2 there were 3 people and then a few children, but all of the rest of the people were strangers. I was like, I don't partake with them strangers. I don't know them strangers. I don't fellowship with them strangers. But Elohim knows who is his, and there was a representation of Yahushua HaMashiach was in the midst of it. So even in all of this, even though it may look like something, even though it may look like, oh, the adversary think he got a one-up. The adversary then dug a ditch. Who's falling into that ditch? The adversary. Because we stand with Elohim no matter what, even if it's one. Even when it was Elijah going up against one prophet, against 400 prophets of Baal. Even if it was 700, even if it was 3,000 men, Gideon and 300 men against 10,000. Y'all saw that movie in Hollywood. Guess who that was? It wasn't about these other people. Gideon, 300 men against 10,000. He said one can put 1,000 to flight. Like an example with Eliyahu and Elijah. He said, if Baal be your God, serve him. But if Elohim be the Almighty One, if Yahuah be the Almighty One, serve him. And guess what? We're going to see today who is the Almighty. So Elohim is like, I am the Father of might. I save by my right hand. He still has been saying that. He saves by his right hand. And guess who we stand with? We stand with Elohim. We stand with Messiah. I don't care what it looks like to the naked eye, to the human eye, to this physical realm. It's already overcome in the Ruach. Not just the spirit, but the Ruach of Elohim. Messiah was like, I prayed for my own. And I prayed for those who will believe in me because of my own. I'm with you. I'm not going to let you sink. I'm not going to let you fall. I don't care what it looks like. Yes. Guess who still overcame? Guess who's still overcoming? Messiah. I've already overcome the world. Know that it's done. It's done, my children. I already overcame. The double favor is here. The vindication is here. I heard vindication the other day. The right ruling is here. The righteousness is here. No longer do you have to fear man. You don't have to do what Herod did, because Herod had a understanding of John, but he feared the people and he allowed John's head to be cut off. But if he hadn't feared the people and he was just like, you know what, I know he is a prophet of Elohim and I'm not going to kill this man. I don't care what it looks like to y'all people, because, oh, my daughter asked me this and I made a commitment. Guess what? We're not doing injustice in my kingdom, because in the Psalms it talks about a sovereign, or about a king who does justice. The king is supposed to do justice. The sovereigns are supposed to do justice. They're not supposed to do wicked deeds. That's why Saul had his raiment torn. Why? Because he didn't want to obey the sovereign. He didn't want to obey the sovereign of sovereign, meaning Elohim. He didn't obey the right ruling. He didn't obey the command of what was justice, because in his eyes it looked like, oh, you can take the spoil from this battle. He was like, no. All of this stuff is unclean. All of this stuff is, don't take none of that stuff from that land and from that people. It has been defiled. Destroy it. It's like if a land is covered in a disease and maybe you don't see it in the ground, but Elohim knows it's disease and he's like, nope, burn the bush. Burn it. Cleanse it. Purify it. Clean it. So he's doing things by the spirit of burning and the spirit of judgment. What? His righteous judgment. Even in the midst of the test. Pass the test. Overcome the test. The test of the fear of man. You are not snared by the fear of man, people of Elohim. You are not snared by the fear of man. You are not snared by the ways of the world. You are not snared by the lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life. You are going to be obedient to Elohim. And you do know that Elohim is with you, children of Elohim. Messiah is with us. El with us. That's who he is. That's what his name is. And that's what he does. That is his cause. That is his righteousness. And that is his unchangeable way, his unchangeable character, his unchangeable presence, and the unchangeable truth. El is with us. And no one is going to change that. No one snatches the children of Elohim out of Messiah's hands. No one gets one up on Elohim. Just surely as Abel's blood still cries out to this very day, and until all be fulfilled, until Messiah returns and the eternal esteem is revealed upon this earth, guess what? His blood still gonna cry out to all Cain. Cain, who decided to make himself an enemy to his brother. Cain, who decided to agree with the adversary and murder his brother, until all his offspring is destroyed. That's how serious the Father is about his own. That's how much he is jealous for his own. That's how righteous he is. He's not just like, oh, the feelings. Oh, Cain had the opportunity to do righteous, and he chose not to. He had the opportunity to walk in the way of the Father. He had the opportunity to be under the protection. He had the opportunity to not be fatherless. He had the opportunity not to be fatherless and an unbeliever. But he chose to go off and do his thing and wander in the land of Nod, being a person of fatherless and being a person of unbelief and being the person without the Father. He didn't stand with Elohim. So he said, those who are with me. Messiah said, all who hate me, love death. Meaning all who love him love life. But he said, those who are with me, we gather together. But those who are against me, they're scattered abroad. They scatter. And so he says, your enemy will come in and they will cause them to flee. 7 or 10 ways? But again, it also reminds me of when the Father says, one can put 1,000 to flight. With Elohim, he can make one person put 1,000 to flight. With Elohim, he can make 2 people put 10,000 to flight. Shall he not do so much greater, as he said, the greater works that he did through Shaul, that he did through Kepha, that he did through Yochanan, that he did through all his Talmudim, all of his tall ones, all his disciples, all of his people and children, and to this very day, and that he will continue to do through eternity. He's faithful. He's faithful. So the battle is already won. The victory is already won. The sun is already shining. Arise and shine, for your light has come, says Elohim. Messiah is here. He's with us. And he is surely one the vindication over all circumstance and all matters. We have surely won the battle. We have surely won every war. We have surely already overcome this world. We are surely of the Shemaim, and it is on our lips, and it is in our heart, because He gave us the new heart of His heart is flesh, and it is around our hands, and it is around our foreheads, and it is around our necks, and we teach it to our children on the way when we go up and we rise up, and we meditate on it day and night. The Word is with us. Messiah is with us always. And we are in the Shemaim. It is nigh upon us already, because even His children who are one with Him, but also His marriage unions that are one with Him, are bringing the Shemaim unto earth. All that is of Him is reflecting Him. It's not just made in His image. We not only have a piece of Him in us, we not only have His word in us, His DNA is not only in us, His name is not only written on us, we are not only called by His name, but we are the living heirs, inheritors, and birthrights of Elohim. So we thank you, Father. Continue to have your way and be esteemed. That's what you're doing. Esteem your name. Shalom. Blessing.